My dears, let's talk today about our book, and if you haven't read it, I will definitely tell you about it. On one hand, reading it was kind of easy. The book by Brené Brown, The Gifts of Imperfection, is her most famous out of her 8 books. She is a sociologist and philosopher, and you can really feel that she has a PhD in philosophy by the way she thinks and reflects. And in fact, you can catch her being categorical everywhere and bring up other arguments that it's not like that. I mean, well, you can argue with every third sentence and counter it with some other words, and I suppose you'll agree with me on that. So, accordingly, like any philosopher, sometimes she's really spot on, sometimes everything is very precise, and sometimes it's very convoluted, almost like word salad, vague, and not to the point, not substantial, and confusing. But since the book is short enough, 200 pages, you can actually, even someone with dyslexia could read it. I will definitely record a video tomorrow, but today I'll just send a voice message because I went to the cosmetologist and my face is all bumpy with some bruises, all swollen and not looking good. Plus, I'm still recovering from the flight. So, basically, the main theme is to be yourself, as you've already understood from this book, right? Be yourself. Don't pretend to be someone else. Of course, this is a somewhat utopian idea, as you understand, not entirely viable, but yes, never mind, we're still kind of moving in that direction. Obviously, it's unrealistic to expect 100% when you live in society. And at the same time, we understand that the direction is exactly that way, so to speak. It's quite possible that in her categorical statements, she's generalizing some things, but even in this regard, I would argue. And I urge you to always argue with the authors, no matter how significant they may seem to you, no matter what kind of PhD they have. Always question their statements, even those of the greatest authors. Always argue with them. She really loves speaking at technology, entertainment, design, and her talks are on YouTube. You can watch them. She's more like a stand-up comedian in that American style. Well, they are taught public speaking from a very young age, and almost all of them know how to speak beautifully, which, by the way, we don't have, and we should definitely learn from them. Public speaking skills absolutely need to be introduced in schools. When you go out there, even for basics, for example, I vacation in Cancun often, and see American weddings where any guest can give a beautiful speech. You could listen to them for hours and think, my God, they sound like professional performers. But really, it's just skills they've developed. By the way, we actually had a topic about public speaking skills with you. You can find it in the pinned messages and check it out. Listen to it. So that's how it is. Yes, and everything is built around the idea of being yourself, being yourself, being yourself. And what usually makes these little books so easy and captivating? It's because she constantly tells some stories, and these life stories, notice they are easy to listen to and easy to read. And a teacher, even when you remember your school or university, the teacher who shared real life situations, their own from life, they always sparked interest. By the way, this is one of the good techniques of public speaking, to tell a story from your own life, something that happened to you personally. This always draws people in, making them think, oh, how interesting. Really, that happened to you. And she uses this quite successfully, actually. And for 20 years, she built her scientific career around the topic of shame. And this is, on the one hand, extremely strange, but on the other hand, well, it makes sense. She gets some grants and revolves around them. But come on. I mean, honestly, studying shame for 20 years, these endless scientific studies, how much can you really do? And still, we're going to easily challenge all her major conclusions right now. Yes, let me give you some interesting examples right away, so I don't sound unfounded, where I'm sure you'll definitely agree with me. Well, for example, here's a phrase from the book. So, hope is a combination of clear goal setting, resilience, and perseverance with which you move toward your goal, as well as belief in your own abilities. While it's clear that faith and hope are intertwined, yes, these two concepts, but how? Hope is a combination of clear goal setting, resilience, and perseverance. This may not correlate at all, actually. And even without generalizations, I can give countless examples, like the Soviet Union, where half the population, if not more,